I see, and
So welcome everyone to this meeting of the Witan Council. This session is particularly oriented at Europe and Africa, but all Witan members can attend and people are welcome to come and watch. I will ask you when you wish to speak to indicate to me, and I will recognize people while we're going through the agenda items. But first, Lady Stephanie, would you like to get people started with introductions?
All right, I would love to. All right, it's been voted upon that Lady Rain Packard shall begin.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lady Rain from Cape Town, South Africa, and I am the Lady of the Clan of Cape Temple. I'm the Senior Priestess for Africa. And yes, that's me in a nutshell. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. How about Reverend Joanna?
Hello, I'm Reverend Joanne, or some people know me as Earthstar. If you're familiar with Second Life, that's my name there. I am acting head of Wild Moon Proto Temple, and yeah, we are mainly based in Second Life, so we have people from all over the globe that come along to the temple there. But I'm in England, so hi from England.
Oh, England! Yay, England!
Thank you.
So exciting.
Hello,
Reverend
everyone.
Asa?
Yeah, I'm from Sweden and I have my temple, Swedish Wolf Light Temple. And my name, as you can call me, is Wolfie.
Very
Wolfie.
good.
Yes.
Wolfie, exactly.
Yes. And I know that, and yet I didn't at that moment. Yes, okay. And
Yeah.
and writing it down to make sure, never call you Asa again. All right.
No,
Thank you.
it's
Wolfie.
easier for you though,
Oh,
if you call me Wolfie.
Wolfie, it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's easier than Åsa.
Well, thank you for thinking about me. All right.
Yeah,
Reverend Brian?
yes.
All right. You have the floor.
I'm Reverend Brian Lang. I am the High Priest and head of the Temple of the Night in Ontario, Canada. We're a reasonable sized group at the moment and still growing. And one of the main things we're trying to actually do is organize one of the first official Wiccan churches in Canada, as there have none that have been legally recognized with the same rights and privileges as any other religious tradition. So we're working towards establishing that as the first Wiccan legally recognized church in Canada.
Fantastic. Carving a path through Canada. Pioneers for the Wiccan way. Fantastic. Lord Brian, so impressed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lord Phoenix?
Hey everybody, I am Phoenix. I am coming to you from the traditional lands of the Haudenosaunee, also known as the Seneca Nation, unceded people, also known as Buffalo, New York. I am the Lord of the Temple of Holistic Knowledge, the Lord of the Blue Door, and I'm glad to be here celebrating with everyone. So I look forward to spending more time with you throughout the weekend.
Fantastic. Reverend Sir Chad Blackman, go ahead, and you're on.
I am Reverend Sir Chad Blackman. I am married to Reverend Laurie Blackman, who's your press secretary. I am a paladin major. I help her with her temple, and I'm just every guy who does anything tradition needs. I mean, you know, studying for third degree, hoping to get there with you guys soon, but hey, it's all good.
Thank you, Sir Chad.
Yes, thank you. All right. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but it's all Greek to me.
Konstantinos.
Constantinoes. No, I know that's wrong. Please forgive me, please.
Nothing to forgive. My name is Rev. Konstantinos Foriadis. I'm the Lord of the Second of Hermes Temple, head of the Circle of Asclepius Order and Circle of Apollo Order. I am at Greece, and I'm happy to meet everyone.
Oh, it's
Same here.
good. Yes.
Thank you, Constantinos.
Yes. How about Right Reverend Sir Jason Hikerell?
I am Right Reverend Sir Jason Higerell, Lord of Pure Sanctuary Temple, here in the wonderful city of Danville, Illinois, where the tradition was founded. I am first director of the Correllian tradition, and father,
Father of many children.
just a few. That's me in a nutshell.
Oh, well, I know you're much more than that, but well, we'll take that for now.
Yes.
Reverend Digo? Digo?
Indigo.
Indigo. Oh, okay. I should wear my glasses. That might help. Oh, yes, much better. All right, there you go. Hi.
Hi, how are you? Yes. Located in Lansing, Michigan, the Vaxnakari
Nice.
Temple, place for 45 spirits, direct spirits entering this world. I'm the Lord of the Vaxnakari Temple, at least at the physical level. Of course, our allies are in their entirety, lords and ladies. We have at least 3 of them in the spiritual level, and our orientation, it's a little bit of mix of Correllian tradition with a very strong dose of Carpathian, Eastern European orientation, and magic and folklore.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, yes, thank you. And I see you there, Lady Anna. So
Hello.
good to see you.
Hello,
Hey, Anna.
everyone.
Hey, Anna.
Just in
It's
case
so
you don't
nice to see
realize
you.
what we're doing, we're just introducing ourselves to everyone else, or reintroducing ourselves to many. So the floor is yours.
Well, what do you want to know?
What's your
Well,
name?
What's your-
Well, my name is Anna. I'm the head of the Temple of Sedna in the UK and a number of other temples. I'm also the Witan Herald.
Thank you.
Thank
It's so
you.
lovely to actually see you here on video, and
Yes.
thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And oh, I see Lord E. Bless, and as
And Lady Ira.
I was just trying. Yeah, that's you, Ira. Yay! I mean, Lady Ira.
Hello.
Good to see both
Hi.
of you.
Good night. How are you? It's great
Wonderful.
to greet
Okay.
you.
Okay, we have to pretend
Yeah.
like we don't know each other. So tell us about yourself.
Well, this is Eblis and this is Ida,
Hi.
and we greet you from Spain. We are temple heads of Dragon Temple, Temple of Hecate, and Inverness Forest, and we are so happy to see everyone and to greet you.
We're happy to
Thank
see
you
you.
for having us.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, yes. So happy that you're here. Now, I want to make sure that I'll try. Sorry.
Equinox Silver Moon
Okay.
and Laurie and Michael.
Oh, okay.
I believe you know Michael.
I think so. I
Maybe.
think I know him. Yes. Now
Maybe.
I don't see Equinox here.
He's here.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Equinox, go ahead, and maybe when you start speaking, you'll show up here. Can you hear us? Okay.
Well, Equinox has their mic muted.
Oh.
But you know, sometimes people can't unmute it for some reason.
Oh, all right.
So
Well,
if
Equinox,
Equinox
no.
can speak,
Yes.
and if not, welcome Equinox.
Yes.
I assume you can hear us, and we're very happy to have you here.
Equinox says he's speaking, but you can't hear him.
Yeah, I don't
Oh.
understand why.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
so
There we
make
go.
him.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, hello. Hi. Can you
Hello.
Hi.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, I do apologize. I've never used Zoom before, if you can believe that, actually. So this is my very first time using it. I'm very honoured to be invited here, and it's so great to be part of this illustration. Finally,
We're
first
very
one in
glad to
12
have you.
years.
Uh-oh.
Have I gone? Hello. Oh, I'm back again. Hello. Sorry. I've got buds in, so it's. I wonder if the connection's going on those. I'm Lord Equinox Silver Moo, so I've just got my third degree. It's been a long time coming, so it's taken me roughly 10 years to get here. I started at the school in 2009. I started with Lady Anna in 2010. I am the joint head of the Temple of the Moon, as well as numerous other roles for Lady Anna. I've worked with Lady Anna for 10 years now, so not only has she mentored me, I've done and still do many jobs for her.
Lovely.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for the invite. I'm very pleased to be here.
We're very glad to have you.
Yes.
And I believe the only people who haven't spoken yet are Sir Michael, Sir Laurie, and Sir Ed if he wants to.
Okay.
So I know he's on a bus.
Oh, all right. Well, Reverend Laurie or Lady Laurie.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I do apologize for not being on camera, but I am taking care of my son with his recent release from the hospital yesterday, and my laptop doesn't have a camera.
That's because it's here.
No, the camera is in Jacksonville. The laptop is with me. I am the temple keeper for Chosen Path Church in Jacksonville, Florida. We have about 45 members. And I am also the Master of Records for the Mother Temple and the Dean of Students and Mentors for Witch School. And I think I have worked with everyone here in that capacity, except Reverend Brian, and I have met him at Parliament. So I'm so loving putting faces to all the people that I enjoy working with so much. I will have to drop off at 4:45 because at 5 o'clock we have our second degree initiations.
Okay. Sounds good. And thanks for the reminder. You're wonderful, Lady Laurie. And we're so happy that your son is on the mend.
Yes.
So am I.
Yes. Yes.
Much
now I've saved the most talented person last, my husband. Reverend Sir Lord, whatever, Mike.
Yes. Hi, everyone. It is just fantastic seeing you all. As Stephanie mentioned, I am her husband. And I also have a brother in this group, my brother of another mother, Iblis Pendragon, my brother from another father, and my brother from another country altogether. But we go back, and we haven't talked in a while, but it's great seeing his new haircut. So, you probably know of me through the Core Store, CNT fundraising. Of course, I'm all part of the Sacred Seed Temple that Stephanie started so many years ago in her early steps through the tradition. But I'm just glad to be here with you all.
Thank you, Sir Mike.
We love you, Mike.
Aww.
We do. We all love you.
Lord, happy place.
Stephanie most.
Yeah. And now we'd like to introduce Most Reverend Don Lewis.
Well, actually, we still have Sared, who is the co-host of
There you are.
the
Gee, you keep
Lustration.
popping in and out for crying out loud. Okay. Sorry. And I was not trying to overlook you, and you're on. Okay, not good.
I didn't feel that way at all. As I'm traveling through the Rocky Mountains.
Oh, there you go.
I'm glad everybody's doing this. I'm glad we're finally doing this. There isn't much.
You muted yourself somehow.
No, I just said, and I was handing it over to you, Lord Don.
Oh, very good. Thank you.
Okay, so he wants to get out of introducing himself. I see you. Okay.
So now that we've all introduced ourselves, we have 3 agenda items I want to talk about today. But first, I'd like to take a moment to talk about our mission to the Parliament. And on the weekend of August 23rd, the Parliament of the World's Religions will be being held in next year, year 23 Aquarius, 2023 AD in Chicago. And we're hoping to have many, many Correllians present, including a number of the people in this room, hopefully, will be able to make it. I see Brian will be there, yay. I just want to take a moment to remind everyone that this is happening. We have some special fundraising going on for that to help defray the costs. And we also have a group discount for membership. So if you're thinking of coming and you haven't already purchased your membership, you can get it at a discount by signing up as part of the group. And the discount price is $189. There are also a couple of fees that go on top of it. But you can find all of that out on our page where we list the discount group. It's been posted many places, and you'll see more posts about it. Now, if you happen to be a student, you can get a still smaller rate at a student rate for $79. So this is a very good price for parliamentary membership. It will go up between now and August of 2023. We are hoping that some of our international members will be able to join us, but we're not quite that far along yet, but we are hoping to see lots of people come in for this. And it will be an important occasion. We will certainly be broadcasting during the event. That was the first thing I wanted to mention. The second thing I want to mention is Correllian Publishing. If you haven't been following, we've been bringing out a number of our books in new versions. We have brought out the 3rd degree in a revised version. We will be bringing out 2nd degree soon. We have brought out the Spanish language 1st degree, translated by Lady Ira and her translation team. Spanish language 3rd degree will be out within a relatively short time after Lustration. Would have been out already, but Lustration. Unfortunately, nothing happens while preparing for Lustration. We also have the Greek language 1st degree, which will be out shortly after Lustration. Translated by Konstantinos and his translation team. So we have a lot of things going on, and we're hoping that some of our other international members might be interested in translating these things into different languages, or possibly also a Southern Hemisphere version, which I know has been done in the past, but we might be interested in doing it again in the future as an actual physical book. And I'm looking at Lady Rain as I say this. And you are muted, so I don't know what you just said, but it looked good.
There we go. I said I use the Southern Hemisphere version, which I edited many years ago for us.
And I'd like to talk to you after Lustration about maybe updating it for republication.
Great.
So yeah.
Yay.
Actually, I have several things I want to talk to you about, but that's one of them.
Okay.
Those were the two things I mainly wanted to talk about before we start. And as I say, there are 3 agenda items. And all of these really, we may or may not be able to get very far into the how-to. It's more of, do we want to do this? And of course, votes of the Witan are advisory. But I was hoping that people would let us know if they think these are good or bad ideas, basically. The first one has to do with clergy fees internationally. We are looking at the international community, and we've already done this in some cases, but we see that our current clergy application fees, and of course it's actually an application fee, are more daunting in some parts of the world than others. And we are thinking of expanding the program of adjusting these by region. And I was wondering what people think of it. And I believe Lady Laurie may have something she wanted to say about that as well. So,
Yeah, I would love to do this and do it in a analytical way. So maybe benchmark off of the minimum wage of a country or some other standard that we can apply across all the countries. Because I work with so many international students that they complete the work, but they simply cannot afford the clergy fees.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we do have several very generous angels within the tradition that when they hear of such an instance, they chip in and pay the clergy fees. But this is a matter of pride for some people. They want to, they've earned it through the work and they want to earn it through paying their own way. I think clergy fees are very important because they are the main source of funding for the tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the auctions that Lord Happy Place takes care of twice a year, and the little bit of upcharge on Correllian publishing, there is no other source of income other than donations.
Mm-hmm.
So the collecting of the clergy fees is important to the financial survival of the tradition, but I feel like we need to level set it and make it fair based on the country of origin of the applicant. And what I would love to do is to put a chart on the Correllian.com page where someone can look up, okay, based on my country, this is what my clergy fee is. And then we prepare that chart on some equitable basis.
Mm-hmm.
Reverend Indigo.
Yes, if I may submit a proposal just for consideration, some of us would be willing to sponsor international students, meaning paying the full clergy fee. So I would, if anybody comes from Hungary and they do not have money for it, please just, my name could be put down. They can all contact me and I will submit the fee with absolutely no haggling, no, nothing. And as many as I can. Now, I hope not the whole country would come, but because that probably would bankrupt me. But for a sizable number of individuals, I could actually help.
That's a very generous offer.
It is.
And we will be looking at that. Absolutely. Phoenix, Archpriest Phoenix.
Thank you. I also agree with Right Reverend Lady Laurie Denman. Fees absolutely are essential, one, for the financial benefit of our tradition, but also on a psychological level, giving someone something to buy into is also of astronomical importance. And I'm wondering if it might be feasible for to allow people to maybe do some workaround or like some volunteer work in the tradition, maybe assisting Lord Mike with the fundraising office or doing some kind of tangible work that does benefit us financially would be another route to consider if they couldn't pay the entire fee. And that's in addition to adjusting it to what, you know, like not every dollar is equivalent to the US dollar, the Canadian dollar, the Euro dollar, right? So, but after adjusting it and finding that there's still a gap, maybe they could volunteer in one of the various things that we do as a way of offsetting that, as a way of considering. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sitting here making notes like a troglodyte.
When I started out at witch school about 19 years ago, you had, if you became a mentor, you got your clergy fee paid. At least for first degree. Did you remember that?
Yes.
That,
Yeah, that's for first degree, but second and third, it wasn't just first degree. If you became a mentor.
Thank you so much for reminding me of that.
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Lady Laurie,
I
do we
think-
still do that?
No, we don't. We give lifetime memberships to our mentors, but that program of paying the clergy fee was discontinued before I joined the tradition.
We may
So
want to
it's
bring
been
that
gone
back.
a long time. I like
Well, it was 19
Lord
years ago.
Phoenix's idea, because it can not only be applied to international, but it also can be applied to domestic students who are on disability, have limited income. It gives a way for what I like to call sweat equity. It gives people a way to invest their labor, which not only benefits the tradition for the work they produce, but it benefits them as a growth opportunity to learn how to work on tradition projects. I love the idea as a supplement, as an add-on to the original proposal.
And none of these are in any way mutually exclusive. Do we have any other comments that anyone would like to make? I'll take that as a no. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask us to vote on this question, not necessarily for any of the particular how-tos at this moment, but yes, we want to proceed with this and expand the solution for people. How many are in favor of that? If you could indicate.
How do you want to indicate? We can
Well,
raise hands.
everyone on screen is holding up their hand.
Okay.
You can
there's
hold
a
up your
button you can press that will put your hand
there's
up.
a thumbs up.
So I see
Thumbs
Ailey
up, two thumbs
and
up for me.
Lori.
Can't find it. I'm just going to stick my own thumb out.
Very good. So I would say that we have voted yes. And we'll be addressing this same question throughout the weekend because there will be different people. But I think we're going to find that it's pretty much something we will agree on.
Once a proposal is done, will that then be passed to all Witan members for like a final look-see?
We'll have to look at logistics first, but eventually I would think so. Because right now what we've agreed to is that we're going to look at these things, we're going to look at the proposals that have been made and see what is practical to implement. Although they all sound pretty practical to me.
Because there's always projects to work on.
Yeah, and I also love the mentor one.
Yes, I believe we must do that.
I would focus that more on second and third degree than I would first degree. because second and third degree is where we get a little thin on mentors. And those fees obviously are much higher.
Yes.
Well, and those are often the fees people are most concerned about too.
Right.
Because they
Exactly.
have been set higher.
Yep.
So the second thing is kind. Oh, Phoenix.
So random idea, but would we be willing to accept people's partial fees like on their way up to initiation? So like after they finish maybe halfway through their second degree work, could they start submitting maybe $10, $20 every once in a while towards the total fee? Is that like out of the question, or too much work on our end to maintain like a ledger of like who's done partial fees or what have you?
It could be complex. I would like to talk more about it, but the biggest problem is it presupposes that they're going to qualify.
That part.
The real question would be if for some reason they did not. But we might be able to find some way of doing payments. I think it's certainly worth having on the table. And I tend to think that for most people, our fees are not so large it should be a concern, but I do know that for some it is. We had this problem particularly in Venezuela, where the entire economy had collapsed. And other parts of the world, it can be quite a thing. So we are resolved that we will adapt some way of ameliorating this for people. And we will look at the proposals that have been made as part of the ways of doing that. Excellent. Second agenda item is much simpler because I have one of the things that we have already been talking about through this lustration, and we're going to continue talking about it through this lustration, is the importance of the next generation. Last night, in her opening statements as co-host of Lustration, Lady Elizabeth was talking about the importance of bringing in young people. And she herself is a perfect example of this. She came to us in her very early teens. Lord Phoenix came to us at 13. I myself was initiated at 13. These people have grown up. Lord Ablis, I believe, was that same age. And look at what wonderful things these people have done for our tradition.
Yes, yes, yes.
I don't know where we would be without Ablis and Phoenix and Elizabeth and Alyssa and other people who came to us so very young and grew into such wonderful priesthood. But we're not attracting the young people in quite the same way we once did. I will get to in just a moment, Lord Brian. I do see you. So what I'm asking, I'm not really asking if we all agree that we should attract the younger generation. I think we must do that. But do we agree that we need to take special actions to make ourselves more accessible? One of the things that's been discussed is developing materials for pagan parents who homeschool or even who don't homeschool. Other things that might make us as attractive as we once were to younger people. And part of what happened is we had the huge witch school rebuild, which took forever because it was so complex. And we're kind of wanting to recover ground we once held. It isn't like we didn't do this in the first place. And we're wanting to look at ways to recover that younger generation for the future, because none of us is getting out of here alive, as they say. And we must, even with our belief in conscious incarnation and our belief in reincarnation, and in fact, because of those, we're talking about ourselves in future incarnations. But And Reverend Chad is asking that when we vote that we put it into the chat so that it can be more officially counted. And Reverend Brian, you were going to say something, and I see that you have the perfect.
Well, this is my son Thorn. He's the youngest member of our temple.
Hello, Thorn.
Got his Wickeninger when he was 3 and everything else, and has been active in it. One of the things we did as a temple is I have another member who's a member of our outer court debating on going inner court, who she is 15 now. And one of the things that we had discussed pre-COVID was organizing a youth ministry with it, where she's going to help head for the temple or whatever else. I have the youth ministry program for it to help whenever we're doing open public rituals or participating in pagan pride or whatever else like that, that she can help participate, and the temple can actually help bring in more children and educate and some of the younger generation and everything else like that too, so we can continue to pass it on.
And that's exactly the kind of thing that I'm asking about,
So
and hoping that we will see more of.
It could be something that all the temples could consider, was if they know somebody who's in their area or part of the tradition or whatever, who's willing to volunteer with it or whatever else like that, to help organize like a youth program or whatever else, and offer it out and volunteer their time, even if they can do it for school credit or whatever, it could help them out too.
Thank you. Lord Phoenix.
So one of the things that we have done here in Holistic Knowledge is we actually allowed students to do any of the community service they needed to do for school through the temple. Rachel, Kai's youngest daughter, did one of her school projects through the temple and did homeless outreach. And as an impact of that, she actually brought one of her friends along with her. And so one of the things that was helpful in, facilitating that is actually reaching out to schools and just letting, the area schools know that there's an organization here. This is what we believe in. This is how we practice. And this place is suitable for people to do any community service, any outreach or activism that's being done for any of their classes. We've also gone into, interestingly enough, Canisius College was the Catholic school. It's a Catholic college, but they brought us in and allowed us to do some comparative religion discussions among the students. And we got some feedback around that as far as like expanding the web. So I think as far as we are concerned, we have to be a little bit bold in the places that we reach out to. So no longer just pagan shops or Unitarian Universalist churches, but like places where we would normally just expect ourselves to be because we're human beings and we have a good thing to share with the world. I am coming from a place of privilege. Like I live in a community where paganism and witches are openly accepted. I know that is not always the case everywhere, but I do think that being bold, being brave, and really just kind of letting the sword back us up a little bit, right? As a representative of the gods that, we represent, kind of put that armor on us, go into the places, go into the public libraries and, help them curate exhibits about what we do in their summer reading programs, because the students do have reading projects. At least in New York State, they have a certain amount of books that they have to read before they get back to school in the fall time. So curating exhibits at the library that are made of like some of our elders' writings, like the Big Blue Book or, any of the Witch Blue books, which are actually here in the public library, Lord Don. There are
wonderful
books. But curating those with, stuff that's actually happening in the community is also very helpful in reaching out to like the younger generation. And so then it's kind of like reaching out to families as well, and not just like maybe targeting children, which might be seen as creepy. But
that's an important point.
Bring you bring your 15-year-old, bring your 13-year-old, but like also bring your mom and your dad too. And just like, see what we've got going on.
Lady Laurie, before you have to go, do you have the floor?
Yes, Crystal Cavaliers. It is a children's scouting program that was created by Lady Angela Munn. I know there's a good chapter, strong chapter here in Jacksonville, and I believe Lady Stacy Blair also has a strong chapter. I think we can do a lot better at advertising that this program exists within the tradition, and maybe create a page for it on the Correllian website, so that when people come to the website to investigate the tradition, they see that we do have programs that they can take advantage of for their children. I know we have several orders out there that also are child focused or pagan parent focused. If we could kind of pull them in and connect the dots with them with the Crystal Cavaliers, I think we would get quite a few families, because it doesn't just target the children, but it provides the pagan parent programming to support their teaching of their children. So with that, I must run. I have 4 minutes to get ready for the second degree. If anyone would like to attend any of the other initiations, tomorrow we have at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 10 outer court members being dedicated, and they are all studying for clergy. And then we also have at 2 p.m. the first degree initiations. We have 2 dedicants there. So I hope that y'all can tune in, and if you need the links, just let me know. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye.
So, regarding the Crystal Cavaliers, this is a program that some of you may have heard about, and most of you probably have not. And it's currently chartered through Lady Angela's temple specifically as it's being developed. I don't know if she's quite ready to launch it on a tradition-wide basis or not. That's a question we must ask her. But yes, I do think it's going to be a very important part of the answer to the question of moving into the future generations. I do want to say it's extremely important anytime we're physically interacting with young people that we make sure we have protections in place for them, which doesn't matter as much when we're talking about learning materials. But when we're actually interacting, we must be mindful of best practices. But we certainly will be. So my question then, I want to put it to the vote. Do we wish to continue pursuing these avenues, including things that have been discussed and other things that may come?
Right, Reverend Jason has his hand up.
Oh, you're in the corner now. I'm sorry. The boxes move on me.
What I understand of Angela's progress, I know she's working through a couple books right now.
Mm-hmm.
How to progress through it, but that's as far as I've heard about it so far. So I know it's trial and error, and this works, this doesn't work. So that's, I know it's not ready tradition-wise yet, but it's getting closer.
But I've had occasion to physically attend some of the meetings, and Lady Angela is doing a wonderful job. The members of the Crystal Cavalier administration are doing a wonderful job. I saw another hand, and then the boxes moved again.
Yeah.
I don't see it now.
No.
So do we want to go ahead and vote then? And I'll ask you to raise your hand, but also just type yes in the chat room. And of course, you can also type no in the chat room if that is your vote. That's up to you.
Okay.
The one thing with it is making sure to check your area too, and the bylaws and everything else, because I know up here in Canada, certain groups like that need to have liability insurance to cover each child. Like I tried to put my stepson into Cub Scouts here years ago or whatever, and the local one here couldn't. There was no point in putting them in because they couldn't do anything because they needed a $1 million liability coverage for each child.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when I was in Cubs and Scouts and everything else like that, it was like, here, take this waiver home, have your parents sign it.
Well, this is one of the important things that we must be mindful of going forward. And so thank you very much for bringing that up. And, you know, we're a global organization. There are going to be different rules everywhere. Mostly the things that we normally do, it doesn't impact us that much, but in new areas it may. And we may have to do some research. But as with Crystal Cavaliers in particular, they're not really ready to move out in that way at this time anyway. So there's time for research, and it will affect different programs in different ways.
Yes.
But it is very important to be mindful of. So we've had our vote on that. I have one more thing, and we have 15 minutes if we want to end at 1 hour, which I don't know that we do. We have more time set aside. The last one is, do we like this format? Is this something we would like to see in the future? And if anyone has any comments, they can make them, or otherwise we can just all vote on that. And well, I should explain what I mean by this format, though. And I mean trying to bring the entire Witan together through a video platform at least once a year. And I know we will never get everyone into it, but we can get many people in. So if you like it, type yes or no or whatever you want to type in the chat room. And I think it's quite nice to be able to see everybody. And it's particularly nice to get to see Lady Anna, who I haven't seen since I was actually in the UK.
It's nice to put a face to the name. She was on there forever.
You know, for some of us, you know, like, you know, as we're getting older, seeing, you know, us getting grayer. Oh, I'm in.
Tell me about it. I had a dark beard once. Now I'm Santa.
I'm offended. I
already feel old enough since my daughter just made me an Opa. So
yesterday was my grandson's birthday.
Nice.
And also Mabel Jean's birthday, Lady Alyssa's daughter. Nice. They happen to share a birthday.
I think this format is important because truly everyone comes from different walks of life because they're living in different cultures. And as we all know, even within a single culture, there are many cultures. And that we all are going to have different perspectives and all equally valid, and to hear everybody's approach instead of just a few approaches. So I really like that. And then plus we could hear each other's voices, and that giving everyone an equal opportunity to just say how they feel, and then together somehow it will work out. But can I add one thing about approaching, attracting young people?
Mm-hmm.
Can I go one step further in that attracting, let's just say people, let's keep it like that. I have a feeling that everybody that becomes a witch they are not interested in becoming a clergy member. They're interested in becoming a witch, but not a clergy member. I mean, just look at almost any church that you see more pews than you see the people in the front. And yet the way Correllians approach everyone is that everyone is equal the day they enter our doors. Equal, you are willing to, if you're willing to help out, you're willing to share your gifts with us, or in other words, we are very flexible with working with everyone. So saying that, now I'm not saying diminishing the clergy, I'm not saying that at all. And to always have that, a nice big cauldron as people enter the door. but knowing that when a person walks in, they maybe can't help it, but see, well, the clergy has the biggest cauldron. Okay, cool. Now just keep walking around the cauldron. Then you see these other cauldrons that are just as big as the clergy. And maybe one type, because we have many types of witches. And so maybe the witch that maybe don't call it a degree system, maybe call it a level or whatever. But each witch earns a way to learn more about what she or he is interested in, being that kind of witch, and have programs that's already, we could probably come up with many types of programs within witch school that we already have now, right now. But basically when a beginner, a new person enters, to have it where they can see these other opportunities to enter. It's like, well, I think I'm going to try that cauldron. I'm going to just poke around and see that. Oh, I'm going to maybe just try a little bit of everything, like that kind of thing, that they see it's vaster, more broader, so everyone is included in the Correllian tradition. So yeah, so that's very broad stroked in a sense. And once again, not diminishing the clergy at all. Let's keep that growing bigger and bigger. And no problem with that. Not saying anything against the clergy, because I feel I'm a clergy, and everyone here feels that they're a clergy and feel that they absolutely love being a clergy. I'm not knocking clergy. All right, I'm finished.
Lady Rain.
Yeah, so what we do in South Africa is, for us, it's a very big thing about not having our youngsters get into trouble. So we have to sort of get parental consent before they join us for rituals and participate in studies and that sort of thing. But what we tend to do if the individual is between 13 and 18, for instance, is and even any adult that feels, they're not ready for clergy, they just want to learn from scratch, we actually let them work through the Living the Wiccan Life program. So that way they get like a Wicca 101, they get all the basics, they still participate, but there's no sort of, they don't have to worry about going the clergy route, or that they've got any sort of particular pressure on them to do so. And I feel this works really, really well, because some might feel after that point that, yes, they'd like to continue on the clergy route, and others will just stay either court members or, in formal members of the temple. And that really does work well for us.
That's
perfect. Or they could say that. So I want to be a master herbalist. I want to be a master tarot reader. Master level, adept level tarot reader. I want to be a teacher, I want to be a spiritual counselor, like on and on and on. And feel just, and everybody will value those people like nobody's business, and be happy to have them, and so that we can learn from them. Yeah.
Reverend Brian.
Actually, Rain, I actually set that up years ago with my temple too. Is the Living the Wiccan Life is the original first-year program in the temple. It's if anybody wants to become clergy, whatever, the way I have it set up is, if anybody wants to become clergy, they must do Living the Wiccan Life first, because it's our base program for any new people coming in. And the way I have it set up is, the reason why I want you to do this is because if we're having all of our outer court members do this program, we can't ask them to do what we haven't done ourselves. So we Living the Wiccan Life as that initial basis for anybody coming in, just to give them a taste, and then they're getting involved, they can see what's going on, what we do as clergy or whatever, so they can make the choice as they go through that first year of how they want to take the program from further.
Yeah. And while they're doing that, they are actually getting the knowledge, they are getting the hands-on experience, so they feel even more part of the temple. They feel as if they're also on a path, and it really is very rewarding. I feel just incorporate that as part of your entry level option. So great for doing that as well, Reverend Brian.
You see, this is what's wonderful about us coming together this way, because we can share our experiences and the things that we've done and learn from each other.
Yes.
Along that same line, I'm just wondering, with the republishing of the different books on Amazon Publishing, do you folks in other countries have the ability to order those books and that you don't have to pay some exorbitant price to have it mailed to you, but that they print in your own country? If you want a hard copy, I know that they can be ebooks too, but I'm just wondering. At the time you set it up, I know you can give permission for it to be sold in various countries. Does anyone have any experience on that?
We definitely have other online platforms like Luton. We've got Takealot, and it takes a couple of weeks to get here, but we do get them, and they're not as exorbitant as the fees we would pay on Amazon. So yes, we do. Thank goodness we do.
Because I know from selling the books in the core store that it's a minimum of $25 to $28 to mail out a book. But now that they're going to be introduced to Amazon Publishing, I can order it on Amazon Publishing for free. I mean, the shipping's free. And I assume that same logic applies in all the locations where Amazon has a presence.
No, in Canada, there's still a delivery fee. Even my books and stuff like that, they're put out for the world and everything else like that. And it's based on number of, in Canada, it's based on number of pages, whether or not it's black and white pictures, color pictures, if there are pictures. And there's still a shipping fee attached to it, whether it's no matter where it's being ordered from. Even if I'm ordering from the States, there's still a shipping fee. If I'm ordering within Canada or whatever, there's a shipping fee. They just apply it to kind of cover their costs, kind of thing.
Yeah, we have something called Amazon Prime here, that if you pay an annual fee, all your shipping is free. But that's
I think we have
it.
So
okay,
Ablis says in the chat room that Ira believes it depends on Amazon and we need to investigate more, but they're saying they will investigate. And if you could do that, Ablis and Ira, we would appreciate it, and let us know for certain. Because I have been under the impression that if you order it from your local Amazon, you will not be paying an exorbitant shipping fee, whereas if you order it from us, you will. Because shipping anywhere in the world now is very expensive. Which is why some of our international orders take longer to go out than us. But if we can find out the answer to that for certain, it will help us in terms of how we're distributing the books. And with that, I have nothing further. Does anyone else want to bring up anything they would like to talk about? If no one does, then we have come to the end of exactly 1 hour, which amazes me. I want to thank everyone for being here. I imagine I'll see some of you later and through the weekend, I'm hoping. I know not everyone is going to be able to attend much, but I'm hoping that, that I see most of you throughout the weekend. And thank you so much for being here. And with that, we can adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Love seeing you all.